So today we will start our new chapter, chapter number 5, Introduction to Euclid's Geometry. Here I have written Euclidean geometry because it can also be said as Euclidean geometry. What is it? According to the Greek mathematician Euclid, he said the branch of mathematics in which we study about plane, the solid figures on the basis of some axioms and theorems, then it is called as the geometry. He also told us some definitions, axioms, postulates, theorems and corollaries. So through this flowchart we will get to know what we are going to study in this chapters. So we will be having 5 postulates, their equivalent versions, some axioms, and we will also get to know the existence of parallel lines. So let's begin with the basic definitions. First of all, let's understand the verbal meaning of geometry. Geometry is a word derived from the Greek words geo plus metrion. Geo means the earth and metrion means to measure. So whenever we measure anything on the earth's surface, it all comes under the part of geometry. So here we have some basic definitions according to Euclid. So first of all, what is a point? A point is that which has no part. He said to us that whenever we draw a dot on a paper, it is a point because it has no parts. Now, what is a line? Line is a breathless length. He said if we have 2 points A and B and we are drawing a length from A to B without any breath, then that will be called as the line. Then what is edges? Edges of surfaces are always lines. He said if we have any surface, suppose a quadrilateral, then it is a surface. So the edges of a surface will always be a line. The surface has length plus breadth. Suppose if I have drawn here a rectangle, you can see, so it has some breadth and some length. So it is a surface. So if we have any surface, then it will be composed of some length and some breadth. Now, what is a statement? A statement is a type of sentence by which we can decide either it is true or false. Means whenever a sentence is either true or false, then it will be called as the statement. Means there is no ambiguity in the sentence. We can decide from listening that sentence, from writing that sentence, that it is concluding either true or false. For example, sun rises in east. So we all know that it rises in east and it is true. So this type of sentence will be a statement. Similarly, if I say a quadrilateral has 3 sides, so you all know that it is composed of 4 sides. So yes, it is false. So this statement can also this is also a statement because we can conclude it is false. Now moving to the next definition. Axioms, the statement which does not require proof. We can say the universal truth, the mathematical truths. These are the statements which does not require any proof. So these type of statements comes under axioms. So here if I say the sum of 1 plus 2 is 3, so yes, it does not require any proof and you will say this statement is an axiom. So whenever we will be having any universal truth, any mathematical statement, that always comes under axioms. Now, some Euclid's axioms we have. First axiom that Euclid defined for us, that things which are equal to same things are equal to one another. If I say A is equals to C and B is also equals to C, so from these two equations we can easily conclude that these two things A and B are equal to each other. It applies for all the things, means if there is a mathematical term or any logical term, any science term, then it will be applicable for everything. Whenever two things will be equal to the same things, they will be equal to each other. Now moving to the second axiom, he said that if equals are added to equals, then wholes are equal. Means if two things, suppose A is equals to B, then if K is added to both the sides, to LHS and to RHS, then whatever the whole will become will also be equal to each other. Similarly, if equals are subtracted from the equals, then remainders are also equal. Suppose A is equals to B, and if we subtract K, which is from both the sides LHS and RHS, then whatever the remainder will also be equal to each other. Now moving to the fourth axiom, That is, things which coincides with one another are equal to each other. Suppose if we have two squares ABCD and PQRS, both are of same side length, that is 4 centimeter, then both will be equal to each other because they are coinciding to each other. Now, according to the fifth postulate, the whole is greater than the part. Means if we have anything A, then if we take the part of it will always be smaller than A. Suppose if we have a pizza, then if we take a piece of it, then it is a part of it, so it is always smaller than the whole pizza. Now, moving to the sixth axiom, things which are double of same things are also equal to one another. Suppose if A is 2 times of K and B is also 2 times of K, then similarly as the axiom 1, it will be equal to each other. Now moving to the seventh, the last axiom, things which are halves of same things are equal to one another. That is, if A is half of K and B is also half of K, then A will be equal to B. So these are some axioms that Euclid defined for us.